Alrighty, guys, I am going to be doing some product research today. And if you're new to the channel, you don't know who I am, we've got a couple of Amazon brands that do over $3 million a year in revenue. This one in the background here that you can see, this is our main brand. So at the minute, we're doing about $100,000 a month, about 20K profit a month. We are out of season for this brand. This brand booms in the spring. So we are basically getting in stock, getting everything ready because this is going to go nuts in the spring. We've recently launched this brand on Shopify as well, which is, you don't really see that a lot on Amazon channels. You don't really see people talking about Shopify. But if you're interested in that sort of stuff, this is the channel for you because we've just launched on Shopify. So from the 9th to the 6th, we've done just under $30,000. Honestly, next year, we are going to be shifting most of our Amazon revenue, or the ratio of our Amazon revenue to our Shopify revenue, over to Shopify. I want to be 80, 90% on Shopify and then 10, 20% on Amazon, because we're looking to exit this brand and you have so much more of a defense, so much more of a moat if you've got Shopify, if you've got customers' emails, all that type of stuff. So today I'm going to be looking at a few different ways that you can be doing product research for Amazon and also for Shopify, because I believe the future of Amazon FBA is a hybrid model of Shopify plus FBA. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how to find very specific products and brand ideas. Most of it is going to be around consumable products. So subscription-based stuff like, supplements, anything that people buy more than once. Because our brand now is pretty much 95% subscription-based products. So we get people subscribing. Pretty much 30 to 40% of our orders now on Shopify are people subscribing to the brand. Again, this makes your brand so much more valuable than just a standard Amazon brand where people just buy it and then you never see them again. So there's a few things that I'm going to be looking at, a few tools that I think also are not really covered on Amazon FBA YouTube. You don't really see them. And there's a couple of them that I think are really, really interesting. The first one is exploding topics. Now, I should have a discount code, I think, that I can put in the video description, but where you can get this for, I think, a week for $1. Exploding topics is basically like a massive database, right, of trending or trend data, like search volume data, right? So recently, I've started diving into some of the other options on the left-hand side here, because what you can do is you can just come down to trending products, and it's going to pull out a ton of products that are sort of trending. You can play around with the filters. You can choose different categories. You can look at the actual sort of like growth trajectory. I can never really say that word. So is it peaking? Is it regular? Is it exploding? You can look at the volume. So if you want to look at something that's on the lower end, or you can look at like what's very high. So let's have a look what's very high in like the last sort of 2 years. In what space do we want to look at? Let's look at, what can we look at? I don't want to look at supplements because I always do supplements. I want to do beauty. Let's have a look. The last 2 years. So what you can see is you can see the volume. This is like the monthly search volume. And then you can see the growth, right? So really what we want to be seeing is we want to be seeing stuff that's like got this nice sort of upward trend, right? I don't really want to be going into stuff that's just like got this massive hockey stick, right? Because I would rather be going into stuff that's got this like steady sort of year on year growth, right? Because if I was to start from scratch now, and I wasn't building our brand here, which we're going to take to an 8-figure exit, by the way. I'm so confident of that. If I was starting from scratch, the first thing that I would want to be identifying is the market. And I would be wanting to find a market that is starting to trend, right? And there's so many good examples of this. There's tons here, right? But there's things like creatine gummies, right? This is something that I've talked about before. If you can find these trends early and you can get in on these trends early as they start to become bigger and bigger markets, then that's when you can really start to make money, right? And this is a good example. This, to me, you're probably a little bit late to this one, right? But if you could start to see the evidence and the data that these niches were starting to take off around here, then if you know what you're doing and you know how to launch a really great brand and a really great product, you can be in early and you can ride this wave upwards, right? Because we don't know that this is going to continue going up and up and up like this, right? But it might sort of flatten out. But this is essentially a whole new niche, a whole new massive market that's emerged in the past few years. And that's your first job when you're doing your product research, right? A lot of people are going to talk about helium 10, which I'm still a great lover of helium 10 and I use it all the time. But what I'm really looking at now as a brand owner and somebody that teaches other people how to start brands, which by the way, check out the video description if you're interested in joining our community. Um, I I am focusing now on teaching people to identify markets that are starting to take off. Because if you know how to build a brand, if you know how to source products, make beautiful looking brands, and make great products, and you know how to then market those products on Amazon, on Shopify, on TikTok, and if you pick the right niche as it's growing, then you can make a lot of money. And there's tons and tons of examples. So what I like to do when I'm thinking about my product research is start by looking at the overall market and the niche. People get too bogged down, in my opinion, in individual products, right? And what they're not looking at is the overall trends that are happening in society, right? Because the way people buy things are different. You'll start to see patterns. Like if you look at a lot of skincare now, right? One of the biggest things that's happened in the skincare industry is beef tallow. So beef tallow has absolutely exploded. It's exploded because it's kind of a natural alternative to moisturizers and stuff that are full of like sort of fake chemicals, right? So if you look here, beef tallow for skin, this is something that's absolutely like just gone nuts. Look, like a couple of years ago there was 1,000 people a month searching for that, and now at the peak there's 122,000 people. So if you're able to spot these things, if you're always on social media looking at the trends, if you're looking at this data, you can work backwards and you can say, right, I want to find a product or a niche that, forget that. You don't want to find a product, you want to find a niche. So when we call this product research, if you reframe that in your mind as niche research, that's very difficult for me to say, niche research or niche research, if you reframe it as that, it's going to help you. Instead of trying to find specific products, you're going to look at markets and you're going to try and find these emerging markets. Because again, this is another good example of something that's really started to boom. Another one is stuff like probiotics. Um, is that how you spell it? Probiotics for gut health. So look, probiotics for women, nearly 300,000 searches. And this is a good example of something that's not necessarily like gone viral on TikTok. Which, the other thing that I looked at, the beef tallow, that was something that really went viral on TikTok, right? And it came out of nowhere. But this is something that just since 2019, it's doubled in size in demand. But it's not just gone like woof and gone absolutely crazy, right? It's not gone absolutely crazy. And by the way, this graph that I'm looking at is helium 10. So you can see how I combine all of these tools, right? So helium 10, if you want to get the discount code, there's one in the video description. But it's doubled since like 2019, right? And so the first thing that you need to be doing when you're doing your product research, it doesn't matter whether it's Shopify or whether it's Amazon or whether it's a TikTok shop, you need to be identifying these niches that are starting to grow, right? Or you need to find these things that are, that are starting to trend, going viral, and then you need to position your products and your brands in that space. And the way that you figure out how to do that is by doing research. Which brands currently exist? What products currently exist? What are the problems with a lot of the products? So if we were to look at like, for example, beef tallow, right? So this is something now that I personally wouldn't go into this niche unless I felt like I had some sort of sort of competitive advantage, right? And a lot of these big brands that you'll see, they're not just Amazon brands, and this is why I'm talking about, in my opinion, the future of Amazon FBA is combining Amazon FBA with other marketing channels, right? With TikTok, with Facebook. If you know how to do that, which is what we're doing with our brand and what we've got people within our community doing, you can really, 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 really crush it, right? And the way that you can crush it is because people are going to come and search for your product directly. Then you don't have to always be fighting for these top organic spots. Now let's have a look at this, right? You've got this product here at $18. You've got a $14 product. Then you've got a $50 product. So how is this product here, this Evil Goods product. How is this $50, not $50 more? How is this like more than double the price of these top sellers? The number one ranked top seller here is $30, right? That's still quite expensive relative to some of these, right? But what you will find is products like this, like Evil Goods, they've got a lot of direct search demand. And if you come to their listing, you'll see that they say, oh, they used to say viral on TikTok. It doesn't say it anymore. Where's it gone? So it used to, oh, there we go. Viral on TikTok, viral on YouTube, right? So if we come back here and if we search Evil Goods, what you're going to see is that there's a ton of people searching for this brand already. Look, 35,000 people are searching for Evil Goods Whipped. Evil Goods is a brand name. Evil Goods Whipped Hello Honey Balm, and 19,000 people searching for this. So look, at the peak here, they were in August, there was 155,000. So how are these people doing it? They're doing it through TikTok Shop. They're doing it through running Facebook ads. So if we come over to TikTok, what you're going to see is blah, blah, blah. Where did it go? Evil Goods. If we type in Evil Goods, we're going to see a ton of videos, right? I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm going to dive into the tools a little bit more. But look, you can see all of these videos of all of these people using this product. People see this and then they go to Amazon and they buy it, right? Because we've seen this with our own brand. So when I go to Amazon and I search our own brand, we can see that since we started selling on Shopify and since we started running meta ads, our branded search has gone up 10x. And that's really, really helping us on Amazon because we're running that external traffic, right? So the first thing that you need to do is you need to be using tools to find these trending niches, right? And you can use tools like Exploding Topics. You can use Google Search. You can just use TikTok, right? You can start to see what are the sort of patterns. What are the patterns with what people are looking at? Are you seeing the same types of products on Instagram trending and stuff like that? But that's the first thing that you need to do. And then you need to see what is currently on offer, right? Because if I was going to look, for example, at bee pollen, which is something that I've looked at in the past. So bee pollen is something that I don't think really in the past couple of years has gone crazy. But the past 5 years, 2020, you can see it's starting to trend up here. So 500,000 searches a month compared to like 146. So you've got to ask yourself, why are more and more people searching for bee pollen, right? Why are more people searching for bee pollen? It's because people in general are getting more health conscious, right? So if we come across to Amazon, what we're going to see is all of these different keywords. So bee pollen for breast growth. So that already is giving me ideas for products, right? And it's giving me ideas for brands because I would have to look a little bit further into this, but if we have a look at the search volume, so you can see this actually peaked and then it started to decline, right? This is probably where it got a lot of products trending on TikTok or something like that. So this is actually a bit of a red flag. We don't want something that's just peaked, been a bit of a fad, and then it's died off, right? But bee pollen in general, let's have a look at the search trend for that. So we're trying to find these niches that are growing. And this again looks like it might have had some exposure on TikTok or something. It's boomed and then it's sort of slowed down, but it's still actually doubled if we look since kind of like last year. It's still kind of doubled in search volume. So it probably is trending up, right? And it's probably had its day as a super viral sort of product. And now it's sort of just slowly growing, right? But if I was to look at this and say, like, right, I want to get into selling bee pollen, the second thing that we need to do is just like look what's on offer, go through the reviews and kind of understand like what are people looking for, what's currently on offer, and is there a way that I can come in with a better product or a better brand or both, right? Because ideally all you want to be doing is finding these trending markets, these growing markets. You want to see what's on offer, and then you want to come in with a better looking brand and a better product, and then you want to build around it, right? You want to get customers that love your products. The beauty of these types of products is as I said at the beginning of the video, they're subscription based, right? They're consumable products. So if somebody comes to your brand and they buy this bee pollen, and this is something that they use every day, maybe they have Greek yogurt or whatever for their breakfast. If they come into this brand, your brand, and they buy from you and they go, I love it. It's that beekeeper brand. It's beautiful, man. I'm going to buy this every single month, right? They're going to subscribe and they're going to buy this every month. And this is where you start to build a brand that has got so much value, just so much value. If you ever want to sell your brand in the future, you want to be building a brand where people subscribe to those products and they come back and they love it, because that's what an investor wants. An investor wants a database of customers that really value your brands and your products. They don't just want a random product on Amazon. They don't just want some random sort of cheap Chinese product thrown on Amazon with a logo and whatever, right? That's not going to help you win anymore. You need to go a little bit further than that, right? Like even if you're selling something like this, right? This is more than likely not a huge brand. It's probably some sort of Chinese brand, and this is the best seller on Amazon, right? For sure. But when people buy this, do they really know what the brand is, or do they just think they're sort of buying a cheap sort of cheap and cheerful product on Amazon? Now, I could be wrong. This could be a big brand, but look, it looks like it's a Chinese brand. They probably just sell a ton of pet stuff. They're probably doing really well, so they sell a few products. But these guys are not really building a proper brand. They're just an Amazon seller, and that for me is a massive difference. There's a huge difference between the two of them, right? So I really love exploding topics. The other reason that I really love it is you can actually find growing companies. Now, again, this is really going to help you identify markets and identify niches, right? So again, if we filter for 5 years, let's have a look at fitness or health. Is there one? There's one for health. Let's have a look at health, and let's have a look at exploding again, and then let's have a look at high, because we want to find stuff that's going big, right? So maybe this is going to come in. So you got Wolves, you got Space Goods, which I've looked at. Fatty 15 is a dietary supplement. Let's have a look at this. It's a dietary supplement that contains a fatty chain acid. Okay. And then, so what this will do is this is going to show you these companies, right? So this is a company called Fatty 15, and you can see they probably started around 2022, and this is booming, right? So what happens with these niches is the more companies come into these niches, right? And they start advertising, the bigger these markets get, because there's a bit of a misconception, right, that you want to find this like unknown market, and it's not, in my opinion, it's not really true, right? You want to find these markets that there's a lot of demand, because then you can come in with something new that really stands out and something better. So I don't know what this is exactly. It looks like it's got a cool website. So this is an amino acid, some sort of supplement. So what is it though? Fatty 15 pure C15 zero, the first essential fatty acid to be discovered in over 90 years with 36. All right. So looking at this stuff, you've got to use a little bit of common sense, right? Like you've got to look at this and say, like, is this something that this company has developed in a lab themselves? Is this something that as a beginner I could do? On the surface, this looks to me like it's probably not it's probably not like a beginner friendly product. I'm going to search C15 whatever. Now looking at these types of products, these are not like super beginner friendly for a lot of people, But look, here you can see this is starting to take off here. And let's see if we see Fatty 15. So there's that top one. Okay, so essentially, I guess then C15 is probably just sort of like an omega sort of fish oil type supplement, right? And it looks like Fatty 15, which is a great name, by the way. Looks like they've kind of come in with something a bit kind of new. But this is another good example, right? Where this company will see the demand for these types of products getting bigger over time and improving over time, and then they would just meet that demand with a really good product. Now, what's this one? This is like cardio salmon oil. I mean, obviously, supplements is the hot space right now that everybody kind of wants to get into, and I'm not saying that everybody should sell a supplement, but there's so many little sub niches of supplements, and then you've got pet supplements. So one of our brands is a pet supplement brand. So yeah, always keep your eyes open in that space. There's always new stuff coming out. Space Goods is a brand in the UK, a mushroom coffee brand doing $1 million a month. Geek Bar, let's keep going. Loop earplugs, I've seen that before. Olipop, um, I've seen them. That's a huge drinks brand. Gruns, this is another good one. I mean, look at this. These are all new companies, and these companies are recognizing the growth that's happening and the demand that's sort of developing for supplements, for people being healthy. And this is all the new sort of supplement craze right now with these gummies and greens and stuff like that. So these guys have combined this sort of like superfood green sort of health sort of supplement, and then they've mixed it with the whole gummy thing, right? Me personally, as a consumer, I don't really like the gummy thing because I think it's a bit of a con. It's basically because they're essentially just creating these crappy sort of gelatin filled gummies, and they're putting like a little bit of good stuff in there. Most of the time, anyway, like this might be third party tested, it might be, whatever. But again, if we come back to Amazon, what you're going to see is there's going to be a lot of search demand for this particular brand. They've got people already coming to Amazon looking to buy their product, right? And that's what we're teaching everyone within our community. We want you to be launching brands that people come to Amazon to search for. And it's not rocket science. We're doing it. We're doing it with our brand. We've got students doing it really well. And look at this. Imagine if you launch an Amazon product and you don't have to always just compete on Amazon PPC because you've got thousands of people searching for your brand. Imagine if your name's Tom. I don't know why I said Tom because that's Tom's name. Let's think someone else. John. If your name's John and you've got John's Daily Gummies, imagine if you already had 50,000 people coming to Amazon searching for John's Daily Gummies, right? Because you've done your marketing off of Amazon. And honestly, it's not rocket science to try and do that. So this is a great tool. I really like it. You can look at trending products, you can look at trending startups. I really like the trending startups one because I like to really see what products are killing it, and it really helps you identify. Like this is okay. This is like the super greens niche. This is a gummy mixed with like green superfoods. So what other products can you put in gummy form? Are there any niches that are emerging with new kind of supplements, maybe new herbal supplements that that are emerging where there's a gap where you can come in. Maybe there's a more natural way of doing gummies. There's a tastier way of doing gummies. These are all the things that you need to start researching. And as long as you get really good at branding, at marketing, at understanding the fundamentals of launching products on Amazon, there is 1,001 opportunities that you can find, right? So the second tool that I want to show you guys is a tool called Keeper. Now, I recommend almost everybody starting, if you're starting Amazon FBA, my opinion is that you should be launching consumable products, right? You should be launching these subscription based products. And the easiest way to find them outside of doing research like this is using a tool called Keeper, right? So basically, I think this is like $20 a month. A lot of people in the online arbitrage space use this. And the reason why they use it is because it's great for finding like very specific types of products. And it's got tons and tons and tons of data, so much that it overwhelms me. But the best part of it, if you're doing what we call private label, which I hate that term, but if you're looking to launch your own brand, there's a really cool way that you can do it, right? You can come over here and you can pick the root category. So let's say, for example, we want to look at, what would it be? If we wanted to look at, let's say, what shall we say? I can't pick one. Where is it? Baby products, beauty and personal care, right? So let's say we wanted to do, like some sort of skincare brand or something like that, right? So I'm going to come down and I'm going to find this box down here where it says subscribe and save ? And I want to put yes, because that's going to show me only products that are subscription based products, right? That's going to allow me to filter just for subscribe and save products. Now, there's also one other thing that I needed to select. Only show one variation per product. If you don't do that, it's going to show you too many things. So look, you can see 168,000 products, but we want to filter by sales rank, right? So I want to go from sales rank 1,000 up to 30-day average of, I don't know, let's say 60,000, 65,000. So the sales rank is basically the best seller rank on Amazon. The higher the rank, the fewer units that product sells, right? So now we've got 165. We've still got a lot of products. Okay, 35,000 products now that it's updated. So we click on this and we click find products. And this is gonna pull all of this out. And straight away, one of these has just jumped out at me. So let's have a look. What you do is you click on this and then you come here, right? So I'm going to see what this is. So look, you don't need to understand all of this stuff inside out, right? You really don't need to understand it all inside out because it's all a bit overwhelming if you're new. All you need to understand is click on that button and it'll take you to Amazon. To be honest, that's the extent of my knowledge with when it comes to not exploding topics to Keeper. But it just works amazingly well for finding stuff like this, right? So look, this is a consumable product, something that is people, if people buy this product from you, either on Amazon or on your own Shopify store, and they love it, then you can get them to keep buying it and keep buying it. So over the space of a year, maybe I would buy this product 10 times. So if this product is, $30 or whatever it is, it's only cheap, $10 is cheap. Then I'm going to be spending hundreds of dollars every single year. Now you've got yourself a real brand. And you can start to understand how you might be able to turn stuff like this. I mean, this doesn't look that good, right? It's got a lot of reviews. It's been around a while, right? It's doing $140,000 a month. But coconut milk body scrub, right? So I want to look at this. So what keywords is this ranking for? Because then what I want to do then is I want to think, right, so these body scrubs, let's have a look and just see body scrub. Is this a niche that's growing? Is it something that's sort of declining? Is it something that if I launch a product, we're going to see that growth year on year? And if I launch a brand, so it's a big niche, 140,000, and it's not really growing. Look, right. So it kind of peaked around sort of COVID time, 2021. For some reason, it went a bit nuts, but then it's just been ticking along. Like it's not shrinking. I guess if you look at it from a 4-year, 5-year sort of time frame, it is growing. I mean, it has grown quite a bit. So it's steadily growing upwards. So this is not a bad sign. This is a pretty good sign, right? Body scrub. But then what I'm doing, I'm like, right. So what's happening in the body scrub world? Like, which brands exist? Are they natural? Are they using like Dove is infamous for being a bit shit when you actually look into it. They don't really use good quality ingredients. It's obviously a very popular brand, but a lot of the time, these big brands, they don't really use the right ingredients. Now, these brands are like mass market brands. But what you could do if you found a sort of niche like this is you could really look and think, are there people out there that want a very natural body scrub? Something maybe, so as an example, when we found, what was we looking at before? The beef tallow, right? So maybe you could make a beef tallow body scrub, right? So beef tallow is going nuts. But let's have a look. Beef tallow. Let's see if anybody's done that. Beef tallow body scrub. Nobody's done that. Maybe it wouldn't work. Maybe like logistically or whatever. Maybe those things don't really mix very well. But maybe they do. So you can combine all of these data points to perhaps come up with new products that you could maybe launch them under a new brand, and do really well. So this is doing 130K. So this is kind of made out of, what are they made out of? It's made out of like salt, pink Himalayan salt, shea butter, or whatever that is. Okay, so it's made. So look, So this is just a really good example to illustrate my point of what I'm saying you need to do. You need to find these trending niches. You need to see what exists and what's working. So look at the body scrub sort of market. So if I search body scrub, I'm going to USA because I just want to see some USA, not usage. So what are the biggest brands in the body scrub space, and what are they doing? 100% pure. A lot of these websites might be kind of like resellers, but what are these brands doing? What are they doing well? What are they not doing so well? Is there a way that you can come in with something new? So home, let's have a look. 100% pure. So you can see how your research should not just be on Amazon. It should take you everywhere. You should end up on YouTube. You should be looking at Shopify websites. You should be looking at TikTok. You want to be looking on Walmart. Like, you want to just be finding these opportunities everywhere, right? So I'm going to go back. Let's have a bit of another look at Keeper. I really, really like Keeper for this. It just uncovers so many weird little niches and stuff. This was another one that I saw actually recently. So these eye masks, compressed facial sponges. So what are those? They look good. So, but again, you might look at this and just think, well, what is that? Like, how could I create a brand around that? But these are products that people use every single day. Women will buy these. Women that wear makeup will buy these and use these every single day. And look at this. This looks a bit cheap and a bit naff to me. And that's doing 150,000. And can you imagine how much they cost to make? They must be dirt cheap, right? And if you start to think if you can combine these products together to make a real brand that people love, then you're going to do very, very well, right? So you could combine these with the body scrubs. You could create a whole brand around natural, organic body scrubs and makeup removers and all that type of stuff, right? There's so many options out there. Let's keep going. Let's see what else we find. So what's this one? Some sort of perfume, dry shampoo. And of course, it's not just like health and beauty, right? You can look at supplements, pet food. You can look at office supply stuff, like what do people use often. You can look at stuff for the garden. Plant food is one that I recently looked at. Basically, anything where people buy things often is a good thing, and it's something that you might want to sort of get into. So unrefined shea butter. Let's have a look at this one. This came up before, didn't it? Now, some of these things have been around for a long time, and they're markets that are like relatively sort of like solid and sort of undefined, not undefined. That's because I'm reading this word up here. They're sort of undisrupted. Do you know what I mean? Nobody's come around and sort of disrupted. Like this has got one image, and it's doing $100,000 in sales. I don't know whether this is a big brand or something that people are searching for. Um, one thing that I'm seeing a lot of is like, people are really getting into this organic stuff. They're really getting into truly organic foods like this, right? Like organic coconut oil. Now, obviously, this is a huge, huge niche, but again, people are starting to use these types of products as moisturizers. They're starting to use them as toothpastes. So this is why I'm saying to you, when you're doing your product research, it's way more than just looking at helium 10 or just looking at Jungle Scout or doing. You need to be looking at the broader trends of what's happening in society. And look, if you're super, super, super new to this, my advice would be don't get too overwhelmed in all of this. Just pick a product and go for it. Just find a product on Keeper or something like this that you think you've got a good way of launching it. You can make a nice looking brand. Don't overthink of it. Just get the rep in, move quickly. So within Honest FBA, our community, we have a fast track program where we help people launch products if they're new as quickly as possible. Because really, if you're new to selling online, your first sort of 6, 9, 12 months, it's really about just getting the reps in. It's really about learning all of these things, right? And it's really, years 2, 3, 4 that you really start to make some money. You really start to get into your stride. If you're a complete beginner watching this, it's unlikely that in like 3 to 6 months, you're going to find one of these products and make a huge brand. And it shouldn't really be your goal. Your goal should just be to absorb as much information as you can and then apply the things that you're learning and just get the reps in, launch a product, start doing your research, learn about branding, start looking at all these products and stuff like this. So if you're watching this and you think as a beginner, this sounds a little bit complicated, it's because it is, you know what I mean? It's not super, super like straightforward, buy this, do this, and then you make money. You've got to learn a lot of stuff, but anything that is worth doing takes time. What's the phrase? Anything worth doing is hard. I don't know. There's a phrase that I'm looking for. Anything, anything hard is worth doing. You know what I mean? Anything that gives you a good end result is not going to be easy. If you want to make money, it ain't going to be easy because if there was an easy way to make money, I tell you, everyone would just be doing it, wouldn't they? And they're not. So the only way that you're going to make money is by picking a skill and really working on it. And I believe that e-commerce and brand building and all that sort of stuff is just such an incredible skill to learn because let's have a look at the growth of e-commerce growth. It's nuts, man. Let's have a look. E-commerce growth. So let's have a look at how it's predicted to grow. So beverage. So this is just beverages. World mobile e-commerce is worth 2.2 trillion. So look at that. We're here, 2.5 trillion, and then by 2027, 3.4 trillion. So that's e-commerce on your phone. Do you know what I mean? With TikTok and everything. So you can't lose if you start learning e-commerce right here in 2024. Even if you fucking suck for 2 years until 2026, and if you lose money, and as long as you just keep going, then you can make money in the future. And this is one thing that you got to wrap your head around as a beginner is you might not make money in the first year. You might not make money in the first 6 months, but if you treat this as like a long-term thing that you want to get really good at, then you are gonna make money. I guarantee it. You're gonna make money. The only people that don't make money are the ones that they come in, they try it for 3 months, and then they give up. That's it. If you stick at it, and if you see this as a skill that's gonna make you money long term, there's no way you can lose. So I'm starting to rant a little bit now. So let's have a recap. We've got Keeper. You can find all of your consumable products. Just watch the video back and see how I did that. Super useful. Exploding Topics, another good one. I love looking at these new brands, these brands that are coming out. I'm on here every day, almost every day, looking at all of these trending products and stuff, right? There's always so much. Look at this, like Shilajit honey. Shilajit came out and it was this new trending like thing from the Himalayan mountains or some shit. I don't know exactly what the backstory was, but you get so many different types of products. Look, honey sticks. Then you've got gummies. You're getting so many different things from this one original kind of like product, right? So these are honey sticks. Look at this, 6,000 of these bought. Fucking hell. 6,000 of these bought in the last 30 days. $220,000 she legit mixed with honey. Absolutely wild. That is absolutely insane. So let's have a look. When did this launch? It can't have launched that long ago. So somebody launched this product in the summer of this year, less than 6 months ago, and they're doing $200,000 a month. That's just absolutely wild. $200,000 a month, and they launched it this year. If that doesn't make you excited, and they're not a Chinese seller, they're based in the US. If that doesn't make you sell, and then again, look at all the other products that they're selling. They're selling this moringa leaf powder. They're selling gummies. They've got tons and tons of stuff. Super, super cool. So you've got Amazon itself. You've got Exploring Topics. You've got Helium 10. All of these tools, anything that I've mentioned in the video, there will be video description. Um, Links for discounts and stuff. And if you're interested in joining our community and learning how to build real brands, check out the video description. I will see you in the next one. Enjoy it. Oh, and go and watch this video that I did recently because it's an absolute banger. It's going to be up here. See you later.